Hello. This is Robert Ferguson, America's Fat Loss Coach, nutritionist, researcher. Oh my goodness, a guy who 100% cares, and that's why we share. Now, today I'm going to be sharing with you information I believe can help anyone. Anyone wanting to lose weight, get leaner, be consistent. Um, what I'm going to share with you will be very helpful because we're going to talk about convenience. And I believe that whether you're doing Weight Watchers, whether you're working with me, whether you choose to do keto, whatever it may be, what I'm going to share with you will be very helpful. And it's all principle based, meaning once you get it, then you own it. And it's yours to use however it will work out best for you. Now, if you're new, please like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube and you're catching this on Facebook, then go to our YouTube channel so that you will be notified whenever we upload new information that we believe can be quite helpful. Now, before I get into it, if you have any questions, please post your questions and I'll do my best to answer them live, or I'll do it during the replay. Now, I did get a question and I want to share this question. It was based on one of our other episodes where I talk about insulin resistance, like what it is, how it works, how you can reverse it, and put yourself in a position where you experience insulin sensitivity. Now, the question came to me, and I'm just going to read it, just going right from the hip. And this person says that if they throw an apple, avocado, cucumber, celery, and spinach into a blender with some lemon juice, am I going to suffer a high insulin response because I'm changing the nature of these fruits and veggies from their whole form into an emulsion? Understand the combo of the above, or what they recommended here, is healthier. It would be healthier if they left it out of the blender, but they're having a tough time understanding how emulsified version of eating these fruits and vegetables can spike your insulin. Well, here's the deal. If your insulin levels are elevated, insulin is a hormone. It's known as an anabolic hormone. It plays a huge role in metabolizing carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And I'm sharing this just so that if you don't know it, if you've never heard about insulin, so you have a little bit of background so that the answer I'm going to provide makes total sense. Well, I'm gonna do the best I can. I recommend you go back and listen to some of my presentations where I talk about insulin, and how understanding insulin and the role that it plays can either help us lose weight or hinder our ability to lose weight. So insulin being the hormone that it is, when you have elevated levels of insulin floating around in your body, which happens when someone is insulin resistant, insulin, when it's rotating like that, inhibits your body's ability to release fat. So just think of insulin response. Don't think about calories. Don't think about glucose. Get your mind wrapped around the insulin response. If insulin is being triggered, the more of the insulin is being triggered, the more difficult it will be for you to drop the pounds. And if you are insulin resistant, the higher your levels of insulin are, and when they're chronic or elevated for long periods of time, it begets or can create more insulin resistance. So it ends up making it worse for you. Okay, that's why the first goal of getting someone to reverse type 2 diabetes who's injecting insulin is to get them off of insulin. If we can get off of insulin, that is a huge step. And the good news is that your body is still producing insulin. So then as a result of that, we then work on getting your body to become more receptive or sensitive to insulin. Okay, so that was a lot. I don't want to confuse anybody. So here's the deal in answering this question. When you look at the glycemic response of 50 grams of carbs from an apple versus 50 grams of carbs from apple juice, whether you juice it at home or you buy it somewhere, doesn't matter. The same amount of carbs. When you look at the glucose response, that's right, the sugar response, they're basically about the same. And if you notice, I have not been talking about sugar. We've been talking about insulin. So when you look at the insulin response of the apple in whole, the structural integrity is there. That apple has not been deconstructed. It is right off the tree. The same amount of carbs in that apple versus apple juice, same amount of carbs. The apple juice is going to trigger a much greater insulin response than the apple. So if our goal is to reduce the insulin response, if I juice the food, I'm creating more of an insulin response than if I ate the food. And the goal is to reduce the insulin response. That's it. That's it. You can fight it as much as you want. The science, like for instance, tells us that if you have steak and you eat the steak, right, and the steak is still whole, right, or the fish or the turkey, you're going to get a much smaller insulin response than if you take that meat and you grind it up and then put it back together to create a patty. That patty is going to stimulate much more insulin response than if you had eaten the steak, the fish, the turkey, the chicken as it was, as a whole, before it was deconstructed. So the emulsion of the fruits and vegetables, it changes it. So I could have said the exact same thing about apple sauce, right? So apple sauce is going to have a greater insulin response than the apple. Same as the apple juice is going to have a greater insulin response than the apple sauce. But the apple sauce and the apple juice are going to stimulate the greater insulin response compared to eating the apple. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else. At this moment, I don't know what else to say. Okay. Because my goal right now is to share information with you guys on how to make weight loss convenient. And when you think of, well, I'm gonna share a couple things with you. Okay. So I want to share this group. They're called the Hadza. The Hadza is one of probably less than 10 hunter-gatherers that still exist on this planet. They don't know what it's like to have convenience when it comes to honey, for instance. When they eat honey, they have to climb these trees. And when they climb these tall trees, they get up to the top of these tall trees, and then they create a little fire, and that's work in itself. And they attempt to smoke out the bees. Well, as they're smoking out the bees are stinging them. They're stressed out, they're up high, and many times people will die by climbing up that tree to get the honey. And the honey is the number one food that the Hadza likes to eat. That's their favorite food. Now, if my favorite food is ice cream, but I have to climb a tree, create a fire, get stung by bees just to get that ice cream, I'm probably not going to do it. But we live in a world today where everything is right there at our fingertips. You walk into a grocery store, everything is there. We don't have to go and hunt. We don't have to climb these tall trees. It's all there for us. And a lot of it has been disrupted and is no longer a whole, is now processed. Now, marketing, a lot of it is designed around convenience. We like convenience. Trust me, if the Hadza could just get the honey without having to climb that tree, and that's their favorite food, they would be eating it nonstop all day. Then they would get so lazy that they wouldn't do anything because everything is being given to them. There's no need to go and hunt or to gather to survive. We live in a world where convenience is there. And in understanding convenience, it's important that you set your life up where you have convenience with whatever way of eating you decide to go with. Okay? So, for me, let's use me for instance. In my refrigerator right now, I have pre-cut up veggies, I have salmon, I have chicken breasts, I have all the foods that I know when I eat them, they actually help me maximize my personal health goals in my current situation. Okay, so I hope you get that. The other day, however, I went into the refrigerator and I hadn't gone to the store. And because I hadn't gone to the store, opened up my pantry and there was some pasta. And there's nothing wrong with pasta, but it's not part of my plan right now. And I had some sauce, I had some tuna. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to the grocery store. I got a lot going on. Let's just knock this out. So I boiled the water and ate the pasta because it was convenient for me. Somewhere in all of that and not getting to the store, that new convenience was not supporting the goals that I had in place. See, if people thought about convenience before they went on a weight loss program, then they would have to ask themselves, okay, so if I'm only going to eat these foods and I'm avoiding these other foods, will it be convenient for me to eat the way I'm eating when I go to a grocery store or to a restaurant? Will it be convenient for me when I get on a plane and travel across country? Will it be convenient for me when I go over to a friend's house or go out with my friends and have a good time and break bread? If it's not convenient for you, then you're probably not going to do well. So when I say convenience, oftentimes people will, in their mind, they will think, I need to prep more. Well, prepping doesn't always mean convenience. Prepping can set you up for major failure. However, if you have the food and you like the food and it's going to be easily accessed, then I would call that convenience. So convenience can be your friend or it cannot. Like Grubhub could be convenient. However, I know that if I use Grubhub or DoorDash, they're probably not cooking my food in the oils I would want them to cook it in. They're probably using the cheapest oils, which I know can create disruption in the body and can actually contribute to you becoming insulin resistant. Making weight loss convenient is looking at your lifestyle and looking at your situation, right? Again, I don't like going to the grocery store, but it makes my life convenient. So I go every two, sometimes it'll be the third day because I go in, I get my fruits and vegetables, I get the foods that I'm going to eat, and I eat those foods in the next day or two, and then I end up going to the grocery store again. Now, you may be someone who lives 30 minutes, an hour from being able to go to a decent grocery store. Well, you would need to arrange things a little differently. For me, where I live right now, where my office is, I'm literally within a 2-minute drive to go to the grocery store. And I can go at different times of the day. I avoid the crowds, and that's convenient for me. And then I bring the convenience back to my house to make it easy for me no matter what. In the morning, daytime, night, I have the resources available to me that makes it convenient for me to eat the way I want to eat that will give me the results that I really want. I mean, we could talk about this forever. And if you're a client of mine, bring this up and let's talk about it. Let's figure out, and I share this with a lot of my clients. I go, let's figure out how to make this convenient for you. Because if it's not convenient and you have the convenience of, let's say a machine that has candy in it, and you're starting to get hungry and it's time to snack, and you don't have an energy bar or an apple or pear in your purse, you don't have something in the refrigerator down the hall where you work, then you're going to go to that vending machine because it's convenient. And if they don't have something that meets perfectly with what you really want to support the goals that you have, then you're going to go with whatever's in there. You'll make the best choice you can. But again, that's all about convenience. Whereas a little bit of prep time or being mindful would have put you in a position where you would have made sure you had that snack, that resource easily and quickly available to you. I hope this is, I really wanted to take a moment and just talk about this, because even if you haven't talked about it or thought about it, or maybe it's making like total sense, the goal is to be mindful of it. And once you are mindful of it, then you own it and you can make anything convenient. Now, it may not always be something that you want as far as the things that you must do. It may be an unwanted reality, and that's okay too. But when you think convenience and you set your life up so that it's convenient, right? Like convenient is being able to wake up, the weather's horrible outside, you wanted to go for a walk, you wanted to maybe get in your car and drive to the gym, but you know what? The weather's so bad, I'm not going to leave the house. So what's convenient? Well, we now have YouTube. You now have all of these other this technology in a place where you can work out at home. That's convenience. And when it's convenient, you will get it done. When it's not convenient, that's where we fall short. So you want to make it convenient. Just think about that. And then, regardless of what methodology or program you're on, ask yourself, how can I make this convenient? Ask yourself, how can I make this more convenient? What can I put in place to make this convenient? Because when it's not convenient, it'll feel like you're walking around on eggshells. It'll feel like you're in a land, there's landmines all around you, because you're just one emotional moment of getting upset with someone, something happening that you didn't want to happen. Um, Something emotionally triggers you to go, you know what the hell? I'm making the pasta. You know what? Whatever. I'll get back to it on Monday. And we lose that mindfulness because it wasn't convenient. Make it convenient, and it will be a much better, happier experience. So surround yourself with convenience. Now, if you have questions, feel free to email us. You can always contact us. If you are looking to lose weight or improve your overall health, we would love to hear from you and see if we can point you in a healthy direction. And if you've ever thought about becoming a coach, we're growing in that area. We have more coaches coming on board right now than ever. And as a result of that, we're really stepping up our game and putting ourselves in a position to work with quite a few companies in providing not just an amazing methodology that meets every one of their employees or their members where they are, but putting our coaches in a position where it's a win-win. They succeed 100%. So I'm Robert Ferguson. I'm going to keep it convenient by letting you go. And thank you for being here live. And if you didn't catch it live, then thank you for catching the replay. We appreciate you helping us get the word out. And if you care and I care, and we all are open to sharing, then let's do that. So I'm Robert Ferguson.